You are listening to Beyond the Verse, a StarCitizen podcast. A show dedicated to Cloud Imperium games, StarCitizen, and Squadron 42. Whether you fight, explore, unite, and/or trade, we bring you news, updates, interviews, reviews, and analysis. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a pour of Radagast, and join us as we go Beyond the Verse.
Launch sequence activated.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Beyond the Verse, StarCitizen podcast. I'm your host, Sulyce, and on today's episode, we announce the Crusader Intrepid giveaway winner. We react to the reveal of the brand new RSI Meteor, it's medium fighter, and discuss CIG's latest update on hackers and duping in the verse. We also review the latest PTU 4.2.1 patch notes. We dive into the RSI Launcher 2.5.1 update and highlight listener feedback and polls from our Spotify podcast. So whether you're a casual pilot or an org leader like myself, this episode delivers the hottest StarCitizen insights and community reactions. Welcome in, everybody. I hope this finds you well. Happy Amazon Prime Day week. Okay, shameless plug. That's absolutely a shameless plug, but I'm curious if you have gotten anything. It's arguably between this and what we call T11, or the 11 days around Black Friday, Cyber Monday, obviously a consumer holiday. It's definitely one of the most consumer-driven or marketing-driven times of the year, at least here in the United States. And so I'm really bad. Even though I work for Amazon, I am very bad at not taking advantage of the deals. And then this year, I finally did. I finally decided to bite the bullet and invest in something that would help the podcast, that would help our organization. And I ended up getting the lapel mic from DJI. So you can't tell anything. It's a black box. So I don't know why I'm showing you this, but it's a lapel pin. So hopefully when I'm away from the studio, I'm traveling, I am going to CitizenCon Direct. I can start bringing you content from Beyond the Verse. See what I did there? I don't know why there's like a dad joke woven into there somehow, but so we have a very, very light week. It's a light podcast. When I was preparing my notes for this, it took me 10 minutes. So I'm going to try to add color where I can, but this might be just another short episode. And I think we're all okay with that. I'll try to make this as entertaining as possible, but we did not have a whole heck of a lot of information to get through. So let's get into the community feedback and go from there. Here we go.
Incoming message.
All right, let me go and share my screen. On episode 111, we asked Spotify listeners what matters most in your StarCitizen organization, right? Like right now, it's the Foundation Festival, so everything is org and community driven or community based. And so I threw 4 options out there, as I try to every time. So there's like selection, but it always boils down to like 2 answers. So I put trust and camaraderie, regular ops and events, which I actually thought would have won, veteran knowledge, so like mentorship and learning how to play the game, well, and then welcoming to newbies. And so for this poll, only 7 votes. We had 71.4% say trust and camaraderie. So community, family, friendship, like that. Okay, makes total sense. And then welcoming to newbies, that's 28.6%. And then nobody voted for the regular ops and events or veteran knowledge. I'm okay with the veteran knowledge. You can go onto YouTube and watch videos. In fact, the Foundation Festival has its guide system. So it's like built into the community and built into the game. So I'm a little less interested in the whole veteran knowledge piece, but the regular ops and events, like, isn't that the whole purpose of an org? It's like to drive that activity and drive that engagement. So I was very interested in the results here. So I don't know if that means anything to you or how you would respond if you didn't vote. But let's get into the comment section. quite a lot to go through. And we also have an email to get through as well. So I'm going to read this kind of quick, respond where I think it's applicable, but let's go to Cody first. So Cody writes, there's honestly nothing more manly than a gentleman who loves his dog. We need more of that and less of the outdated tough guy who doesn't show emotion stuff. Seeing you share those puppy pics just made the whole podcast feel more real and human. And funny enough, my girlfriend started watching too, just because she heard dog and had to see. Appreciate the vibes, man. Keep doing what you do. Yes, everybody got to meet Sir Tedward, my 95-pound ball of floof. And I'm super proud of that dog. He's a very well-behaved puppy, so I'm very proud of that. Yeah. And I know a lot of like manly men who just like crack at their dog, right? Like the moment their dog comes into the room, they're like, oh, my little Betty. And it is kind of funny to watch, to see somebody just change their entire persona when a dog or a puppy's in the room. So moving on to Dr. SSJ. Quote, now you got me worried that the one consistent winner is actually cheating. So this goes off of a funny quote. I made the comment, we're giving a ship away. We're going to be doing that here after the comment section. We're going to be giving away the Crusader Intrepid. I made the comment like, it better not be Groza because Groza always wins. Groza's actually never won a contest from Beyond the Verse. They just win everything else. So anytime there's any other contest, like, man, that guy comes in with everything. He's got like multiple ships of things. So his luck is incredible. We'll see if he wins today. If he wins fair and square because I have a very methodical process. I would say it's a very fair process. It's very transparent. So if he wins, he legitimately wins, but he's actually never won one of our giveaways. All right. Osman writes, hey, just wanted to say, been listening on and off since you started and keep up the good work. Love listening to you in the car, driving around for work. Cheers from Australia. Yes, drive safely. Drive safely. I love listening to podcasts and audiobooks while driving, so I am right there with you. My story is very well known up to this point, but that's how I got into podcasting. Is I listened to podcasts while going from like Austin, Texas to Lubbock, Texas, which is a godforsaken drive. It's like 8 hours of nothing. In fact, you turn once, you head west, then you turn once to go north, and that's it. The only time you stop is whenever you need to stop for like a gas station. So that was miserable. Billy the Beast writes, I don't see the pull for it, but GF has always meant good fight to me. LOL, I've probably been told GF, like get, effed. And I'm like, oh, good fight to you too, bro. And vice versa. I say GF and the other guy thinks I'm an asshole. Yeah, this is funny. So GF, again, if you didn't listen to last week's episode, it came up on social media quite a lot. People were like, hey, what is GF? I'm confused when I do a dog fight and I see GF in the chat. Well, it's one of two things. And you got to read the context clues to know which one it is meant for you. So it's either good fight or it's get effed. And I'll leave that there. So yeah, enjoy that. So next time you see it, you're going to be thinking about it. You're going to be like, Sulyce, he said something about this. Moving on, Tyler Townsend writes, for the lab room with the egg, you can knock out an AI suit dude and res him with MedPen to scan his body. Yes, Tyler, that's actually exactly what we did, or we tried to do. So Tyler's referencing Orgnite from last week when we did Stormbreaker. In order to get into the egg room, you don't get a lab coat enemy. You have to get like a rad suit enemy. And yes, again, you can absolutely knock them out. You can knock them out, move their body into the scan field right outside of the door. And then you can heal them, you can get them up, and as they start to wake up, you hit the door scans them, door opens, and then you just eliminate the threat, right? So that way you're not having to take off your armor, you're not having to take off your weapon systems, but we were just like, everybody was already dead. Everybody around us was already dead. There was no rad suits running around. So I made the decision to kind of speed things up. I made the decision to go ahead and just change into the rad suit so we can get through the ding door. And that's when it all went to heck. Like I couldn't unequip the rad suit or the weapon system. So 100%. Thanks for calling that out, Tyler. I think it's a great reminder. Disowned. Thanks for another great podcast, Sulyce. It made my drive home from vacation a breeze. I especially love seeing Sir Tedward. I also wanted to congratulate Soul Provision and everyone involved in earning the Wicklow Polaris. The amount of blood, sweat, and tears it took doesn't go unnoticed, and in only 10 days too. And lastly, GF always meant good fight in me. So, well, good fight in me, in my eyes. Hopefully others have thought the same and didn't misinterpret when I said it. Yeah, it might just be me. I've seen, like, I actually have seen it translated like GF, 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 GF. And then someone says, no, you get effed. And then it's like, I promise, like, it's not just me. I'm not making this up. Just read the context clues next time that happens. Yes. Yeah, again, the Wicklow Polaris, I kind of hinted at it last episode, but we have an ongoing ticket with CIG. We are one of many, many, many use cases where we have turned in the required assets for Wicklow. Wicklow takes it down into its inventory, and it doesn't count as a mission complete. And so we have video proof, images, we've recorded, we've taken, like I said, photos, like we have all the evidence to prove that like we had everything in the moment. So we did get credit, or we did complete the mission. So we want to celebrate that. I want to celebrate Soul Provision. So thanks to Sohn for bringing that back up. But we're in this position where we're waiting on CIG to make it right. And we're hoping they make it right, because we did put 10 days of a huge org effort to get this Polaris, and we turned everything in. Everything's green. Everything is good to go. We did all of the back end kind of cheat systems to like make sure that the freight elevator go up. Did we have to? did the person who landed the ship in the hangar were they the turn in or the mission turn in? Like, did the freight elevator match the person that called on the hangar? We did all the things, guys. We did all the things, and it still ate our materials, and we don't have a Polaris to show for it. So there we go. There's the truth of it. There's the transparency of it. I'm not emotionally upset in this current moment. So I think we're all kind of doing well as an org, but it is kind of a slap in the face. So we will keep you updated on the progress of that ticket. So far, that was 10 days ago, 15, about 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe a little bit more than 2 weeks ago. And we have not heard back from CIG. So I'll keep you all updated. All right, back to the comments. TJ writes, new to the podcast and Soul Provision. Really appreciate you developing and managing the org. You're welcome. It's a pleasure. Already enjoying the camaraderie and fun. Had fun last night with Chaz Nimbus Ferox. I actually did it live. It's Ferox, but last night I kept butchering it. I kept saying Ferox. So he's now officially named Ferox in our org. Screwed that one up. Saxus and Talon. We accomplished very little, but had a great time doing it. Checked out Stormbreaker, ran into not so friendly folks, killed some, died some, and ended up flying around in a Polaris, dominating NPCs. Looking forward to more. Also, thanks for sharing your frustrations. Good to know it happens to all. Yes, you cannot back StarCitizen and not be frustrated with the game like every other day. But that kind of comes with the territory. You learn to like it. I don't know. It's like in the military, right? Like my unit would go to a field training exercise. This is not deployment. That's a whole different story. But like CONUS, so continental United States, we would be CONUS deployed. We would be doing FTXs, field training exercises, and it would suck, right? You would sweat blood tears, and then the weekend would come, and it made that beer and burger, right? It made all that super good, tasted good. The camaraderie was awesome. But it's the suck during the week that made the weekend so amazing. I think that's the mentality that's happening in StarCitizen, where it's like sometimes it just sucks so bad it brings people together. I don't know. You tell me. That's how I personally see it. So yeah, we're in this together, TJ. Good luck to you. We'll see how 421 treats everybody going into the next week. All right, Shadow Ranger writes, let's hope that the new update drops for the next podcast, which at this point we know it didn't. This update has been a hot garbage, hackers and duping galore. We will get into that here in a second. Servers are on fire, likely due to the cheating and duping. I'm hoping for some better playability in this year of playability that they have been advertising. I have not been able to leave my apartment on Orison for over 2 days now because the touchpad is missing. When I backspace, OG is missing its door panels as well. It started in 1 or 2 servers. Now it's all of them. So in my research, and this is not going to make you feel better, Shadow, but in my research, that actually has nothing to do with what's happening. So like the duping and the hacking, like the hackers are not removing plates indoors. I think it's just like an instance, like your character is in an instance to where those things are happening. And so I know we talked on Discord about resetting your character. That's probably not like going to solve the issue. But the cheating and duping, again, we'll get into in a couple of seconds. It's more on like the inventory side. So duplicating things that were in someone's inventory using the mobiGlas, and then cheating. People are running around killing people like in a safe zone. They're running around and like putting in a script that's killing people. And then as they're dead, they loot their bodies and have access to their entire inventories. I've never read that has anything to do with your apartment issue. Again, it doesn't make you feel better. I know it would make me feel better, but something else is happening. And I don't necessarily know what the solution is. You could submit a ticket, but like I just said, we've been waiting for 2 weeks now to hear about the Polaris, and that was a concierge ticket that supposedly works faster than other tickets. So I don't know what to tell you. Let me know how it goes. Hit me up on Discord. I'm curious if you're able to get in, move around now. Stillwicker Beast. The new referral program is pretty nice. I can't wait to see the new ship at CitizenCon, but 50 referrals for a Raptor. Ouch. This also might be the worst Foundation Festival yet because the duping combined with the hacking and the lack of new rewards, with all the new paints being locked behind Warbond starter packages. Yep. I mean, can I just say yes and move on to the next comment? I mean, I agree with all of it. There's a redacted ship in the rewards that they're going to release at a later date. So that's what he's talking about there. The 50 referrals for a Raptor, that's 100%. Like it takes 42 referrals to get the Gladius. The Gladius is arguably a usable ship. It's like one of the better light fighters in the game. But then for 8 more, you get a Zamboni called the Raptor. And it's like Zamboni has no game loop at all whatsoever. Like right now, there's no janitorial game loop where you have to drive around your hangar to pick up trash. So I don't know what's happening. I can't speak to the Raptor or why it is more valued than a Gladius. And then the Gladius being 42 referrals, that's pretty steep. Like, I don't know. I do a podcast and I've only had like 2 referrals out of 3 years. So 42, that's mainly for your streamers. So enjoy that, streamers. Enjoy that special treatment. All right, Zayak, thanks for the episode, and most importantly, sharing Sir Tedward with us. He's famous at this point. He looks very polite. He absolutely is. Got an off-topic question for a more tactical gamer. If one of your team gets downed. Good Lord, downed. If one of your team gets downed at the Lazarus site by a single enemy who runs off, how would you deal with it? Split and search, group up and search, keep going until they reveal themselves. Anyways, take care and happy Friday. Well, that's a question that I could take the next hour on. Thank you for asking. So a lot of you may know my background. 12 years in the United States Army, Ranger, finished up my career with the Special Forces. I'm proud of my career. I was a team lead, a team lead for 19th Group out of Texas. I have a lot of experience with this, but it's still like it's still operational. It's contingent on the operation. It's contingent on what your mission is. Like if you are trying to take an objective with overwhelming force and a tenacity of violence, right? You don't want to split and search. Somebody downs you. Now this is a video game, so if somebody downs you, get them back up, keep moving on. But we're not talking real life. We're talking about a gamer or a gaming situation. You never ever want to chase. You never want to chase. So even like a dogfight, when we were doing Jump Town, right? You circle the objective. You have like a QRF that circles the objective in the sky. I mean, guys, I could take it the next hour on this. You take like the airspace and you divide the airspace in different like sectors. So you have like the low, middle, and high atmospheres. You've got like outward sectors as well. So you have like an inner circle, a middle circle, and an outside circle. You stay within your lane. That's where stay in your lane comes from, right? You stay in your lane. So if somebody comes and picks you off, we don't send the entire QRF after them. That is the whole point of the enemy. The enemy is doing that on purpose, right? They're doing little pop shots to try to get you distracted. And then once everybody's focused on those pop shots, they come in, they flank, or they come in from behind. And that's how they disrupt operations. Do not fall for that, whether it's a ground mission or an air mission. Do not fall for that. Stay in your lane. If somebody downs, that's why you have a QRF. Like usually you have a medical team that will go and take care of the downed person while everybody else stays in their sector of fire, right? Like there's a whole science behind it, right? There's a whole science behind it. You do not split and search. You do not group up and search. You continue with the mission. You have an element, either QRF or a security or medical team that goes and triages. They go and they take care of the situation, but you continue with the mission. That's how you create fatal funnels, right? The bottleneck effect, right? So like if you're sitting there like, oh my gosh, someone just got downed. Let's just hunker down and not move and just stay here. Well, that's what they wanted. Now you're sitting ducks. Now there's a fatal funnel of you trying to get through doors and things are like completely slowed down. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Right? Violence of action. Violence of action. I used this analogy in Org Night a couple Org Nights ago. Think of like a river, right? Think of a river. And I actually had to say this. My heart goes out to those victims in Texas. Like, oh my gosh. I said river and I immediately thought the Guadalupe River. That is a depressing story. So let me just take a second to say, like, my heart goes out, thoughts and prayers, everything to the families here in Texas that have had to suffer that. So this might be a horrible analogy, but think of a river, water's flowing. So the water flowing is like you and your force, right? And all of a sudden there's a rock, there's a boulder in the middle of the river. Like the whole river doesn't just stop, right? The river will bend around the rock. You've got the water that makes contact with the rock and you can see you can see the white foam and you can see everything kind of splash up. Like that's your contact, right? That's your contact with the enemy, but the rest of the river keeps moving. And in fact, that overwhelming force, like the wraparound of the rock is what you want to accomplish as a military unit. Right? You want to, you come into contact, but now you've got flanked objectives. Now you got this air support, maybe like subterranean support. Like you've got all this other things happening, this theater of war that happens around just this one little contact. So think about that. If you're an org leader, if you're leading missions, think about that analogy. Keep that picture in mind. You've got to continue to the next phase. It's like phase 1 doesn't end until phase 2 starts. That is a constant stream of movement and action, right? Only between phases, if even then, does your team do a tactical pause for communication, for refit and refuel. All right. Again, I could talk about this for hours. So maybe I start another podcast about military decision-making. So, all right, let's get in. I'm sorry, guys. Let's get into the community giveaway. All right, let me pull up my Excel spreadsheet. Again, this is for the Crusader Intrepid, one of my favorite starter ships. 8 SCU. It's super fast as an interceptor. Again, I'm just a fan of the Crusader series. phenomenal. Let's do this. So here are all the entries. We had 98, 97. We had just under 100 entries. So here they are. The only thing I've done to this output is I've hidden, so you can see like columns Charlie to Echo. So I've hidden Delta because of email addresses. So I've only hidden information because of doxing. That's the only manipulation I have done. So you are seeing right now, you are seeing this real-time transparent way of me picking the winner. So I've created column alpha where I'm going to create a random number, and that's =rand, open and close parentheses, boom. Now that presented disowned with this random number. I copy this down. Now I see that number changed again for disowned. Every time I change or make a movement, these numbers will keep changing. I don't want that. So I copy it and I paste it as a text. Boom. So it's no longer a formula. These numbers are now static. All right. And now create the filter. Create the filter. And then I'm going to sort from the largest to smallest. And our winner for the Foundation Festival 2955 Crusader Intrepid plus Foundation Festival library is RSI username Duke Breacher. Congratulations. They followed us on X or on Twitter, and the engagement question was, what is your favorite game loop and why? And their response was salvaging. They find it very therapeutic. They wish they would make the fees cheaper, though, when doing salvage contracts. I actually agree with that. Hands down. So congratulations, Duke Breacher. Again, I will email you. I'll go through the RSI website, but I will email you the item, and it'll be in your hangar here in the next hour and a half. So again, congratulations. Alrighty. Moving on. Oh, staying with community stuff real quick. I wanted to celebrate in this week for Soul Provision. We have officially announced the Soul Provision 2026 Sector 6 Series jersey, which is powered by Sector 6, obviously. So let me just share my screen. This is a beautiful, beautiful product I worked with an artist on, or I contracted somebody from Sector 6 to work on. And so here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the Soul Provision jersey. And it's really awesome because it's customizable like you would expect, where it's Soul Provision on the front, the Beyond the Verse podcast logo on the right sleeve, and then you can put the gamer tag, so like Sulyce or whoever your gamer tag is, right there on the back of the jersey. So super, super exciting. You can go to our website, which I can show you here in a second how to get to that. But you can go into our website, soulprovision.com or beyondtheversehq.com. Go to our merch page. So there's like a merch, and then, there's a merch page. And at the very top, above the polos and the t-shirts and the mugs, you have access to the Sector 6 landing page. You can go there and buy a jersey and have at it. I will say, out of 8 years of doing content creation and having multiple jerseys, Sector 6 by far, in my opinion, is the best product, the best quality, the best feel. You're going to kind of pay for it though. This is like $75. So you will, it's a price point, but we play StarCitizen and some of you have javelins. So I don't think I'm worried about $75, but it's worth it. The quality, the feel, the breathability. It is an amazing, amazing product. So I'm really proud about that. Go check it out on our website. Yes. Moving on. This week in StarCitizen. Again, the rest of the podcast will probably be done in like 15 minutes because there's just not a lot of information. Happy Monday, everyone. First and foremost, to all the vigilant citizens out there, thank you for your reports. We are aware of the recent exploits and cheating making the rounds, and your quick action in flagging these issues have been a huge help. We don't have more to share just yet, but the team is on it. And they actually did release something a couple of days ago. We will go through it. I don't want to shine so much light on it because I have an emotional response to that, but let's stick with the article. The Foundation Festival kicked off last week, showcasing what makes StarCitizen truly special, a welcoming community always willing to lend a helpful hand. Dive into the guide system to earn exclusive Foundation Festival themed rewards. Want to get more involved? Snap a moment of kindness and toss it into our community contest for a shot at some awesome prizes. 1 second. And if you're hunting for a crew, check out our latest org spotlight comm link, which actually reminds me I didn't get to the email. We're actually going to go back and read the email real quick, but check out our latest org spotlight comm link, a great starting point to find your tribe, whether you're a fresh-faced rookie or a seasoned vet. Plus, the revamped referral program is back with fresh rewards to celebrate every player's part in growing the community. Meanwhile, Alpha 421 on the PTU is open to all waves and being tightened up ahead of launch thanks to your input. Jump in, get involved, and keep that feedback coming. Lastly, roll the dice and shake the rice. Roll the dice and shake the rice? Never heard that before. The next stop on the StarCitizen World Tour is none other than Sin City itself. Join us at the fan-organized convention Quantum Vegas 2955 for a full day of fun with plenty of space talk, panels, and a community energy brighter than the Strip. Now let's see what's going on this week. This is what I'm talking about. Thursday we had Behind the Ships. Later today we'll have a newsletter, and then the StarCitizen World Tour goes to Quantum Vegas on Saturday. So a very, very, very light week. It's fine. It's fine. 421 more than likely is going to go through its release candidacy over the weekend. Maybe today, but over the weekend, we'll probably see 421 early to mid next week. So, I don't know. Not a lot to go through. I do want to get to the email, though. And again, I don't share my screen for doxing purposes, but we have a first write-in by Caleb. Caleb writes, I want to start off by saying thank you for staying consistent with such a great show about a game we all love. With working 65 plus hours a week in a hot blue collar environment and a father and a husband, life doesn't slow down. Preach. I am right there with you. So this podcast really helps with reconnecting to a community that I don't get a bunch of time in. Been listening for a bit. I never responded to your show, but writing in to say that you guys deserve to be featured on the festival page, and you personally encouraged me a while back to join an org, and it has changed the game entirely. Thank you for that. Lastly, I've seen some Soul Provision people in the Gravity Rush League by Atmo and wanted to say great first round to them and love the racing scene myself. Good luck to those guys and to all the racers in the weeks to come. Take care, Caleb. So Caleb, I wanted to make sure I got to your email. I really appreciate you taking time to writing that. The 65 hours a week and being a father and husband, I'm right there with you, right? Like I am right there with you. It is so hard to find time, and that just means you have the right priorities. If you're a father and a husband, you probably should not be able to play StarCitizen that much, right? Like you're doing the right things, buddy. So I feel you. 100% feel you. All right. Back to the news. So low-hanging fruit first. We have the RSI Launcher 251 release notes. This is nothing big, guys. Nothing big. The next time you log into the launcher, it's going to prompt you to do it. It's now automated, or it's now a push system rather than a pull system. So you used to have to go to this page and you used to have to click on the executable file, but you don't have to do this anymore. So this is automatic. You probably have already updated it. I don't know. It fixed a couple of issues. Maybe corrected a typo in offline messages, access to channel folder from the game settings menu, and improves game error message with the crash digest number. Like, I don't know. How much of that do you actually care about? But hey, we're here to talk about the news, right? So there you go. It's there. Don't be surprised when you see it. Let's just keep going. All right. Maybe not so much like low-hanging fruit, but we do have the PTU 421 notes, or the patch notes. We always kind of go through this. It doesn't really change week over week. It's testing all the same material, but it's a good reminder of what we can expect. Maybe the new features in gameplay that they are testing, right? It also helps us understand just how close we are to the release candidacy. Usually, the closer you get to a release candidacy, our candidate is like a shorter patch note. That's like, okay, we're trying like one more thing, stability and bug fixes, and like maybe a couple of other things, but it's not this like litany of action that's being taken, right? So when I look at this, it's fairly short. I would say we're pretty close to a release candidate. So available to all waves, the mesh configuration is 55600. Again, taking a couple seconds. You have one shard to rule them all. You have 5 dynamic game servers or DGSs. You have 5 that are in Stanton. In this configuration, you have 5 DGSs in Stanton, 5 DGSs in Pyro, with a max shard head count of 600 players. So that's how you read that. That's why that matters. That will change. Like every patch, every build, they're playing around with that number. So sometimes you'll see like 6 and 4 or 4 and 6. You'll see 700 players or 500 players. They're just trying to see that sweet spot of how to get more juice out of the squeeze, right? So testing and feedback focus, obviously stability and bug fixes, the Second Life resource drive, new mission type, ship escort, the Wicklow recipe updates, executive ship component updates, Stanton Space Station security forces, and the Volt pistol. So there's not a lot of description as to what those are necessarily. Like the Stanton Space Station security forces, cool. I mean, we kind of know what it is contextually, but there's not a lot of feedback in the patch notes. There's a list of known issues, but then this is where I spend most of my time, is when they go through like the features and gameplay. So this is like the core focus, the things that they are introducing into the patch, the PTU patch. So for this gameplay, it's the ladders version 2. They've been disabled for 4.2.1. Updated escort ships to show the health of the weakest point for mission progression. And then docked ship trespassing update. Reworked ship trespassing around space stations to now only teleport players who are not currently in the owner's party while the ship is docked instead of within a certain radius of the station. Core tech, further network stall and interaction delay improvement updates, a bunch of bug fixes, which sometimes are interesting. For the most part, they're not, unless you're really, really into some of these bugs and it personally impacts you. And then some technical fixes, like that's more for just a data point. Like they fixed 1 client crash and 2 server crashes. Awesome. So I personally look at this very quickly when they come out. I look at the features and gameplay, see if there's any changes, things that are added to the card. They're Wow. They're things that were taken off of the card. And so I don't know, maybe you find that interesting. Maybe you don't. Okay. I'm doing this. Oh man. Okay. Cheating and exploiting. All right, this is the hacker update. This is the news of the news this week. So I am okay. I am gonna try my best to not respond emotionally. And when I say that, I don't know. Nope, not gonna get into it. So hacking and exploiting. Here's what's happening. Reader's Digest version of what's happening for the last several days, right? So it all started with duping. And this is like, I was out on vacation. I took my kids to a livestock show and rodeo that was down in the Brazos County to see family. Like I am engaged in like life. I come back and everybody's like losing their minds over this duping. This is not the first time we've seen duping. But this duplication of inventory, but there were videos all over social media, just basically showing what they were doing. And so you would have an item in your hand, you'd go to your mobi-glass, and you would go back to your hand, and you would just alternate between your mobi-glass and your inventory, and you could duplicate items. And so all, corinium or all the rare materials and the items, whatever, like completely destroying the economy, or potentially destroying the economy. So I don't think it ever got to that point, or we would have heard about it. And there would be like a wipe coming in 4.2.1. So I don't think the economy was really impacted, but you had this duplication. Okay. I don't necessarily, I don't know. It's wrong. Yes, 100% it's wrong. I don't know about permanent banning maybe, but like a 6-month ban. Like, I don't know. That's not, luckily I'm not CIG. I don't have to make that decision, but there's should be some kind of punishment for cheating in that way, right? For duplicating items and potentially, again, messing up the economy. That's fine. That's fine. Whatever. That was the least of our concerns. Then you had hacking. You had the hackers come in. And this made me chuckle, right? This made me laugh so hard during this week. So the amount of drama that came with hacking, like protests, like you would think this is some Rosa Parks thing. You would think this was some massive, picket sign in the front of CIG headquarters, stand in, sit in, whatever you want to call it. You would think there was this massive thing, but like the amount of social media posts that were like, community is protesting CIG. It's not that serious, bud. It's not. Like, this is a video game. If you are protesting a video game, I'm sorry, you're wasting your time. Go to school, get a degree, become a developer, go work for CIG, and actually try to impact and influence change. Like, this idea that Sulyce is going to hack and get my way and fuss and throw a temper tantrum, and CIG's like, hey, Sulyce, I saw Sulyce, he was hacking, and we should listen to Sulyce. We should listen to him. He's mad. He's mad about master modes. He's mad about whatever emotional, unintelligent thing that's going on right now. It's just not realistic. It's not how life works. And so I told you I wouldn't get emotionally responding. Well, here I am. I'm emotionally responding. It's not how life works. It's not. If you actually want to influence change, you have to actually take action and do something. You can't just have a temper tantrum and think that life is going to change around you. September 11th happens in the United States. I didn't pick up a sign and protest terrorism. I joined the military, right? I decided to serve my country. So like, that's, I don't know, just a different walk of life. It's a different thought process. And again, at the end of the day, what made me chuckle the most is this is a video game. It's a video game. So whether you think it's protesting or sitting in or temper tantruming or however you want to describe it, it's a video game. So you know what I did? I went back to Witcher 3. I don't know. I didn't want to lose my inventory. I didn't want to log in and have somebody go into my inventory and take all my subscription items and all my rare items, like, and just kill me out of nowhere. I didn't want that. But I didn't go to Twitter and cry about it and say, hell, the community's showing up. Woo, fight back, community. I went to The Witcher and I played The Witcher. I don't know. I just, there are methods. Like, CIG has done very good about the issue council. We pushed back against AI blades or flight blades, excuse me. We pushed back against flight blades. We push back when there's a gold ticket system for the F8. We push back, but we do so in like the right way. We do it through the issue council. We do it maybe through social media, right? We raise awareness, and that happens. That works, right? That works. But we don't need to, like, I don't know, hack into the system and cry and make sure everybody feels the pain because we didn't get our way, because StarCitizen is going down a path that we don't necessarily agree with. I'm telling you, the game's not going to release for like another 5 or 10 years. You have time to go to school, get a degree, and go to work for CIG, and then influence and change. And by that time, we might be in 5.0. So go from 5.0 and be that person that changes things, but you're not going to do it by hacking. And you're certainly not going to do it by raising awareness by saying there is some, God ordained protest happening. See, CIG, we told you. All right. I don't know if I'm going to get canceled for any of that conversation, but it's a different walk of life. You can either cry about it or take action. Okay. sharing my screen for those of you on video. Here's CIG's response, right? An update on cheating and exploiting. Hey, everyone. We've observed a recent increase in exploits and cheating in game and want to acknowledge everyone who's taken the time to report these issues. It's genuinely appreciated. Historically, we've taken a more relaxed approach to third-party tools. This was intentional, allowing space for community-driven efforts like localization, VR integrations, and other creative contributions. However, with our growing player base and increased engagement, we've reached a new threshold, one where exploiters see greater opportunity in targeting the game. In response to the recent spike in abuse, we'll be tightening our anti-cheat measures to better protect both the integrity of the game and the experience for the broader community that continues to shape it. While we won't be sharing specifics, we want to reassure you that recent updates have already made a substantial impact. We've also issued a large wave of account bans and will continue to take enforcement actions as needed. To be clear, exploiting or cheating is strictly against our terms, regardless of intent or the current stage of development. We understand some users may be experimenting, acting out of curiosity, or believe they are helping expose issues. But even these actions can be disruptive and damaging to the game. This behavior can lead to serious consequences, up to and including permanent account closure. We'll continue monitoring the situation and taking whatever steps are necessary to ensure fair play. Thanks again for continuing to report issues as they arise. You know what's not in that article? You guys are right. We're changing master modes. You guys are right. We're not going to sell any more ships until the Javelin or Kraken come out. Behind the ships. Okay, so we're going to end on a better note. Behind the ships, the RSI Meteor, there was no secret here. There was no secret. Jared has been, and when I say loud, I don't mean that in like a negative way, but Jared has been very excited about the RSI Meteor. Kind of his idea, the way I understand it, it was his idea, his pitch. So this is definitely, I would say, contributed to Jared. But we knew this was coming like last week, right? So it wasn't a leak. It wasn't things that like, I don't know, there was no surprise. We knew this was coming. So we're going to watch the video together. It's a 5 minute, I think it's 5 minutes of a reveal. We're going to watch it real quick. And then I asked a poll about maybe the suspected price range. So as you watch this, as you listen to this, just be thinking like, how much would I pay for this? Knowing that the RSI Mantis is $150. So the RSI Mantis, which is a quantum interdiction. Am I saying that right? QI, quantum interdiction. It has a quantum dampening system that makes ships unable to quantum travel away. It is very sexy. It is a very, very awesome ship. I actually saw it and flew it for the first time yesterday in last night's Org Night. I love the Mantis. It's a great ship. Well, this is based off of the Mantis frame. They added a bunch of craziness to it. So we're going to watch it together. Think about the price point, knowing the Mantis is $150, and we'll go through the poll that I asked over on Twitter. So without further ado, let's get into this. Here we go.
The Meteor is, at its core, a medium fighter you can spend your time on, you can live on it. It's got everything you'd need to live out in space.
Take off.
Done. Like that's really all I needed to hear. Medium fighter you can live on out in space. I'll get into my thoughts afterwards. Sorry. I just needed that one sentence and I'm sold.
What did you first think when you heard we were taking the Mantis chassis and making a new fighter?
The Mantis is a wonderful ship. I just like fighters more.
I was excited because the Mantis is quite a well-known ship.
We want to give justice to the Mantis, but we also want to make it more aggressive, more sleek, and I think we got to it.
Starting with the front, first thing that you're going to notice on this bad boy is the 2 bespoke size 5 ballistic cannons that we ended up adding.
They're massive guns, and who doesn't like massive guns?
If you've never used a cannon before, they'll be very low rate of fire, but the amount of damage that you're going to do when you hit is absolutely insane. Repeaters are going bam, 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 bam. Gatling is just brrrr. Cannons are bam, 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 bam. Enemy down. Devastating in the hands of a skilled pilot. As you come around, you can see the similarities between the Polaris and the Meteor. It's like you took a Mantis exterior and then asked the person who made the Polaris exterior to find a middle ground.
That black and red is sick. No surprise that that is my color scheme, but that black and red is very, very attractive.
When I was working on this, I took like a lot of inspiration from the Polaris. I worked on the exterior of that ship for a long time, so I think it's absolutely ingrained in my mind. Although the RSI style of what was back then and what it is now is different, and so there was like this balance that I had to hit.
Underneath, we have a size 4 hardpoint that can fit on size 4 rack, single S4 missiles. You can swap those down to 2 size 3s, 4 size 2s, or 8 size 1s.
The way the hatch is open at the bottom and that whole new like lower section, it kind of like fattens it up a bit, and it just looks a little bit more aggressive, which to me is never a bad thing.
Interior, as soon as you end up going up the ramp that's had a nice little lighting effect added for it, you'll go in and see that the inside has been completely remodeled from the old Mantis interior.
The Zeus did so much for bringing that interior design language for RSI forward. Thank you, Montreal team.
I am less impressed. So, okay, I'm very impressed with the interior. I'm less impressed with like the sleek lines and yeah, it does. It looks like the inside of a Zeus, right? I love the ceiling. The ceiling on this interior is incredible. I know it's a weird statement to make, but you'll see it. If you haven't already, you'll see it here in a couple of seconds. That attention to detail on the ceiling, and then of course there's this armory that comes out of the floor, but that attention to detail on the ceiling it's one of my favorite things, one of my favorite design choices on the ship.
It's a lot sleeker now. There's these really clear blue lines that run through the core of the ship. They go up the walls onto...
See the ceiling? Like, that's just so cool to me. That's just it's a neat feature.
The ceiling. They've framed the parts of your room. You've got nice floor mats as well. It just feels more cohesive. So the cockpit is all framing your eye towards that massive glass canopy that you're familiar with on the Mantis. We've taken the Zeus seat to another level, improving the back-end workflow of how we use it, which is going to improve all RSI ships going forward.
Turning around from the seat, you can catch really quick that we do have a button. And when you press that, you will have a weapon rack that's coming out of the floor.
There's a scene in John Wick where he hits the floor with a sledgehammer to reveal all of his guns and the stash. And we were like, we can't do that, but we could make kind of a secret button on the bulkhead that pops out the floor. So every ship I work on, I make sure to put some kind of inspection sticker on that lists the designers and artists that worked on it. And for this ship, we've added someone else.
Someone else?
Yeah, okay, let me redo that.
No, I'll be someone else.
The paints on this one were fun to do. We wanted to kind of get that iridescence going, and yeah, I feel like we covered a wide spectrum of tastes.
The default we ended up changing out for our darker paint tone. This way you'll be a little bit stealthier. I think it looks really cool. We have our red one, our gold one, teal one, and then probably my personal favorite, our disco livery.
You know, you're trying to bring the ship to a new level whilst also paying homage to what it was. And it was a really unique challenge that I really appreciated getting the chance to work on.
Who is this ship for?
It's for Jared.
It's not for me. It might be for people like me. Who's this ship for?
For people who likes to look cool and play cool.
For people who want to have a daily flyer that packs a huge punch.
This ship is for me. That's it.
It's for your militaristic fighter that just wants that ship that they're never going to stop driving.
Who is this ship for?
John Wick.
All right, what are our thoughts? What are our thoughts, everybody? What price range are you thinking? Okay, first off, reactions to the whole ship. It's a medium fighter, very fast, very agile. It might be light on armor. Like, I'll have to get into it, see it, play with the numbers. I can see it being squishy, right? But those size 5 cannons that are bespoke, it's very cool. It looks cool, flies cool. I like the John Wick reference is a little silly, but I do like the armory that comes out of the floor. They're starting to get really creative with the way they're designing some of these ships. And I'll always welcome that kind of experience, right? The unique experience. It's not just like a armory that's on the wall like every other ship. So I'll take it. Interested about the storage. Like, I know it's probably got some pretty good personal storage, but can you do box delivery missions? Not cargo hauling, but box delivery missions when those come back online? Probably not. But I think that's like the one thing. Like, okay, I want a ship that can do it all, and I know that's not realistic. That's not probably something that CIG will do for obvious reasons. But like, that's one of the reasons why I like the 325 Alpha. Right, the Origin 325 Alpha is really awesome. It's got a bed, it's got a sink, toilet. Right, it has the ability to live off of. I like the window on the ceiling. Right, awesome, beautiful. But it also has box storage. So like, if you were doing a delivery mission, you could do so, a very small delivery mission, but you could do so and defend yourself if needed. So I'm kind of hoping there's some sort of a solution with the Meteor where you're able to do box missions. Again, I'm not expecting cargo. Like, I'm not expecting a cargo ship to be able to take on, high risk value or high risk target bounties. But it's nice to be able to defend yourself, right? Like, a hull A, as much fun as I have flying a hull A for cargo hauling, you're done. Like, you are not defending yourself if somebody else comes in contact with you. So it'd be nice to have like a middle ground. Unfortunately, I think it's one or the other. Like, I think right now in StarCitizen, you got to kind of choose. Am I going out today to cargo haul, or am I going out today, to do mercenary or bounty missions? I think you have to make that decision. And like, that ship is very unique. That's a different ship for both situations. I want a middle ground. You sort of have that with the Asgard, in my opinion. You sort of have that with the Asgard. 128 cargo, I think you can put on the back, and it's a formidable ship that you can defend yourself with. It's like maybe that, but we'll see. I want to get my hands dirty with. I will be buying it. It is a combat ship with a bed, so of course I'll be buying it. Like, it's inevitable. So I'll see how it flies. I'll see what else you can do with it beyond maybe medium risk target bounties, maybe high risk target bounties. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on the RSI Meteor? Curious. Let's go to the price points. I went to Twitter and asked this poll. There was 484 views. Again, this was asked yesterday, so very fresh. 480 few views, 104 votes. It's as even as you can imagine, right? So I asked the price point. It's either less than the Mantis, it's 150 to 175, 175 to 200, or more than 200. And you can see, like, it's very, very even, right? So 32.7% say 150 to 175, a tie of 30.8% to 175 to 200 or more than 200. And then only 5.8% say it's going to be less than the Mantis, right? Which is interesting if you think about it. If I'm not mistaken, the Guardian QI, which has quantum interdiction, the Guardian QI is more expensive than its combat variant, just the plain or the base Guardian. You have the base Guardian. Now you've got the Guardian MX, which is like its up armored, up weaponized version. So maybe this is like the Guardian MX version. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to like translate that. But the way I see it is that the Mantis is kind of like the base Guardian. I'm so sorry. The Meteor is like the base Guardian, and the Mantis is like the QI. So maybe it could be less than the Mantis. I doubt it, though. I truly doubt it. So I'm in the camp of it being, I would say 175 to 200. I would say it's this one. But we'll see. We'll see in a couple of days when 421 drops. And I realized I have not been sharing my screen. So if you want to see the votes, if you want to see the screen, there you go. But yeah. Guys, we're going to wrap this one up. Like I said, a pretty short episode. I tried to put color where I could. I hope you enjoyed it. I really, really tried to not be so reactive when it came to the hackers of the duping. But man, I have a certain feeling about people that do that and some of the reactions that came from the community with it. So give me some grace there. All right. Well, again, I hope this finds everybody well. If you want to become part of the conversation over on Spotify, we have the polls, we have the comments section that we'll respond to on the show. You can email us at contact@beyondtheversehq.com, and everything you can possibly want to know about us is over on our website. It's beyondtheversehq.com, or our organization, which is soulprovision.com. We are still doing our philanthropy with Extra Life. So if you want to give to a charity, give to a cause that helps children's hospitals, we are doing that as well. BeyondTheVerseHQ.com. Go to give. It is a straight pass through to their website. So you can give through that way. We've already raised $1,300. Very happy with where we are. Let's keep it going if you feel so called to do so. We're going to wrap this one up. Safe travels as you traverse beyond the verse. Take care, everybody.